Hello and welcome to ESL Toy Box. I'm Tim, and today we're going to talk about advice. This year has been a little bit odd because a lot of my friends are starting up their own businesses and trying to become entrepreneurs. It must be difficult to start a business in a foreign land. I mean, I've had my own website for the last 5 years, a little bit over a year since I started a YouTube channel. And this year I started up a Facebook page where I do daily phrases. Actually, the Facebook page originally started as a way to advertise the YouTube channel, but I've actually enjoyed learning about the different phrases and stuff, and it's a little bit easier to do it daily or get more content out. So I've actually been doing that a lot more, focusing on that instead of YouTube this year. Giving advice can be difficult because you really don't want to hurt the other person's feelings. I know that I always feel this way when I'm giving advice. I hope that they don't take things the wrong way. However, people do appreciate getting advice. In this week's assignment, you'll be giving advice to some of my friends who started up their own business this year. And I will be giving those assignments to them so they can actually see your advice. So let's talk about advice. The first thing that we should talk about is modal verbs. You can change the feeling of your advice by changing which verbs that you use or which modals you use. For example, you should kind of sounds like a command, like you must do this or you have to do this. It feels very forceful, and people really don't like being told that they have to do something a certain way. So I'd say it's best to avoid these kind of phrases, but there's other ones you could use. For example, could, or ought, or perhaps, or you might do something. All of these give the feeling of an option, like they don't have to do it, but it's just a suggestion of something that they could do. So it feels much less forced. It's also good not to focus on the negative things. So, I mean, it can be good to include some negative things like maybe you shouldn't do this or do that. But focusing on them is maybe not a great idea. But if you do want to give some criticism, one idea is to put it in like a compliment sandwich. So between two good pieces of advice, maybe something more negative, or two positive ideas versus a negative idea. Some negative phrases include, make sure you never assume that you know what the customer wants. I wouldn't do anything for free if I were you. And whatever you do, don't make corrections without an explanation. So if we want to avoid negative phrases, what are some positive phrases that we could use? Well, why not start by talking about the things that you actually liked? What are some of the positives about their business plan? What are some things you liked about their website or the things that they have done? It's nice to start with those kind of things to show that you actually care. So you can acknowledge that you think they have good ideas before giving your own suggestions. When it comes to giving suggestions, I have some advice for you. So you could try expressing your opinion in the form of a question. Why don't you try buying advertisements? How about joining online forums? Have you tried making contacts with local businesses? Can I suggest handing out flyers? Why don't you try Facebook advertising? The best part about questions is that they're not accusatory. So you're not telling someone what to do, you're kind of asking what they think. So it's almost like you're asking for advice while giving advice. It really takes the edge off. Another good idea is to express that this is just your opinion. It's not something that they have to do. As I said earlier, people really don't like being told, you must do it this way. For example, in my opinion, that dress is too red. I think it's a little short. I believe you would look better in a green dress. I feel that a longer dress would really accentuate your features. I guess that an open-backed dress would really help you stand out in a crowd. I'm sure you have another dress that would fit this occasion. My suggestion is to add a belt. My advice is just to wear something comfortable. And I have no idea why I decided to use a dress as an example. I really don't know anything about dresses, but yeah, whatever. Finally, try putting yourself in their shoes. It is scary and it's a big risk to start your own company and become an entrepreneur. Financially, it's a risk. It's also really hard to put yourself out there. So I think we should appreciate the people around us that have taken those steps. A lot of yourself goes into your business. I'm sure they have a lot of pride in the things that they've done. I have a lot of pride in the things that I do. I'm very proud of my daily phrases, my YouTube videos, even though like the first videos aren't really as great, but you know, over time you get better at something, right? So I am proud of everything that I put out. So keep that in mind. There are some sympathetic phrases that you could use, like, if I were in your shoes, I would start by calling up businesses that might use your services. If it was me, I would ask my family and friends to help spread the word about my business and tell as many people as they know. Personally speaking, I would ask the government to give me a small loan to start my business. So this week, I would like you to write a letter of advice to one of my friends about starting a business here in Korea. My friend Dean started up a copywriting business this year. He provides English copywriting, editing, and proofreading services to Korean businesses that wish to appear more professional in a global market. Great attention to detail combined with 25 plus years in Korea ensures that he will deliver your message the way you want in a natural, engaging, and error-free English. And I think, for me personally, I think this is a really good idea. I think if you ask most foreigners that have been to museums and such, there's so much easy English mistakes that just, it baffles why someone didn't get it just quickly checked. So I think there's a real big need for copywriting services in Korea. Another one of my friends, Chris, started up Maple Namu. It is a company whose goal is to make quality, free ESL materials for teachers and students alike. While his website and Instagram is a portal to free materials, you can have a more personalized experience with him for a fee. He is an awesome teacher and does on and offline tutoring for all ages. Of course, they're my friends, so I highly recommend that you go check out their stuff. And I'll put links to all of their websites and social media stuff in the description. And since their main customers will be Koreans, I think it would be very beneficial to hear from you and what do you think about their businesses and what advice do you have? So I look forward to also reading your pieces of advice because it could also help me and my YouTube channel and stuff grow. And I know that they will also really appreciate what you have to say. Thank you very much. Have a lovely day.